harmful to the environment around them. That's where the government regulated, so water, like this water, isn't as contaminated as regular sink water.
On January 27, 2010, in Chesterfield County, Pennsylvania, the county executives passed a conditional permit to allow a local landfill to be expanded by 16 acres. That 16 acres was home to a very important watershed in the area, and that will now ruin the local ecosystems.
This landfill is one of the 9,000 landfills that is home to 20 to 25 million tons of waste in the United States.
Landfills are the cause of many health effects, such as cancer, birth defects, genetic mutations, and death.
Waste like this doesn't decompose as quickly as we'd want to. This has probably been here about 20 years, but that's not my problem.
Landfills are the home of many murder victims. Landfills are a great place because, number one, the scent of the body is covered up by the scent of all the regular waste here, and number two, it decomposes fairly quickly. The harmful effects of landfills can be prevented by going to your local recycling center, such as here, the Northern Creek Recycling Center.
Landfills were created in the 1950s without this kind of technology, though.
The horrid stench produced by the landfills is mostly created by the methane and by still water, such as this.
This is one of the examples of what happens to landfills after a long time. It starts overgrowing with grass and weeds. That's because of the dirt inside of the landfill.
Believe it or not, we have almost reached the end of our journey. But before we go, let's just recap. So, Mattias, what do you think about all of these landfills?
I like them. Landfills are very beneficial to society, and without them, it would be really not beneficial to the environment with all the pollutants from the burning of the garbage.
Well, you do know that the methane produced from these landfills has a 20 times greater effect than the carbon dioxide does that is released from the incinerators that burns the garbage.
Wow, that's impressive. America also generates 4.6 pounds of trash each day per person. So that's everybody in the United States, 4.6 pounds.
Wow, that's like over 10 pounds of trash per person per year. That's a lot. So like I said earlier, there's a lot of risks and effects that come out of landfills. There are health risks such as brain injuries, cancer, genetic mutations, and even death, as Mattias demonstrated before. But on the other side, there are also environmental effects, such as poisoned watersheds, which is mainly contributed to by factory waste, toxic waste, things like that. And that damages the ecosystem because the water is too polluted for the fish to breathe, and it's a huge domino effect from there.
Since the 1950s, which was when landfills were created, they've become a lot more popular throughout the United States, which is home to more than 9,000 of them. There has been about 20 to 25 million pounds of trash in the US this year alone. That is a lot of waste.
Well, we talked about previous events, we talked about current events with landfills, but we haven't really talked about future opportunities. Since the 1970s, there have been multiple laws and bills passed by Congress and local governments with laws about landfill uses, what can go in them, and basic regulations about that. They have these regulations and such to help the local watersheds and ecosystems thrive without dying so sudden.